Although Huey and Billy Butcher often stood out as the boys' main protagonists throughout the series, Starlight was right there with them and frequently had the biggest influence on the plot. She successfully turned a section of the public against Homelander and inspired people to stand up against his evil regime, even when it cost them their lives. Without her, it's safe to say the boys would never have taken down the show's main antagonist, as her insight into Vought and the Seven proved valuable in the early days, while her powers and overall influence remained pivotal till the end. She even took down the Deep on her own during The Boys Season 5's ending. Now that Homelander is out of the picture, Starlight is able to take a step back, and while she remains a hero devoted to helping people, her pregnancy will eventually force her into letting someone else step up. Fortunately, she won't be kept wondering if someone moral will emerge to replace her, as Marie Morrow can easily fill this void. The duo has already worked together, assuring Starlight that she can trust Marie to do the right thing and fight against corruption. She's arguably the most powerful supe still alive after The Boys' ending, which also makes her capable of going toe-to-toe with the franchise's next big villain, while having a crew of talented heroes by her side. Like Starlight, Marie's overall outlook has wavered on occasion, but she has a good group of people around her and can always turn to Starlight when things get rough, who essentially handpicked Marie as her replacement. Starlight's final conversation with Marie Morrow was a passing of the torch moment. Sadly, the Gen V cast's influence was disappointing in The Boys' final season considering how much they'd been built up in the spin-off. However, a few of the main gang did appear, and Marie was at least given the chance to have a final conversation with Starlight, acting as a passing of the torch moment between the pair. Having looked up to Starlight and eventually seeing her as a mentor, Marie has slowly begun to fill the former Seven members' shoes and is arguably more cut out to fight Vought and other evil entities. Marie's powers are great for killing enemies when there is no other choice, letting her get out of a jam much more easily than Starlight. Likewise, she can also heal her allies, even those on the brink of death or with seemingly permanent injuries, proving she is the right woman to succeed Annie. Even though her abilities were downplayed in the final season, as the boys somewhat rewrote Gen V's canon, there is no denying how strong this young hero really is. As a result, getting a final pep talk from Starlight, who admitted Marie was just like her younger self, confirms that there is a healthy understanding and respect between the two. Annie doesn't want her mentee to end up as broken and checked out as she became, but believes Marie is capable of surpassing her own influence. While she never outright stated that Marie would be her replacement, their final conversation certainly implied that the Godalkin student would one day be the next Starlight, a concept that feels fitting since Marie's encouragement wound up being influential in Starlight continuing the fight to take down Homelander. If Marie is the new Starlight, will Ryan become the new Billy Butcher? Marie following in Starlight's footsteps would be a wholesome and bright path for the young hero, but if the next generation is becoming like their mentors, it poses the question about what will become of Ryan? For a while, he looked like the next Homelander, given he shared his father's powers, but thankfully, he wanted to be nothing like the Seven leader. Instead, Ryan grew to resent his father, even participating in his eventual defeat, where they both lost their powers. Now, for the first time in his life, the young hero can live like a normal teenager, but without any unique abilities to protect himself, he could end up more like Billy Butcher, should he opt to fight Vought and the next wave of villains. He's seen more horrors and atrocities than most, meaning he's likely to try to intervene when he sees them happening again, but he may have to resort to unorthodox methods, much like Butcher did. Sure, his mind isn't as corrupted, but over time, Ryan could end up just as vicious and dangerous as the man he cut ties with prior to his death. Fortunately, being adopted by gave Ryan one of the best character endings in The Boys and means he's got a new father figure who will hopefully keep him out of trouble. Undoubtedly has flaws of his own, but he looks poised to steer Ryan down a better path and ensure he avoids ending up like him or Butcher. As a result, rather than mirroring Marie's journey to be just like her hero, Ryan looks set to carve his own destiny, one that will likely be away from Vought and supes altogether, meaning his future in the Boys universe should be peaceful.